thing that kills dreams. And a lot of us, when we go into stuff, the first thing we are scared of is, I don't want to be criticized. And I would like to know, in this, when you started being an MC, have you ever faced criticism that went through your bone and made you feel like?
I would say generally I have never faced any criticism directly that would make me feel like I don't want to do this anymore. So when you're passionate about something, like what I do, I'm passionate about it first of all, and I'm very good in it. I know I'm very good in it. So when I hear some things, side talks, people, it's normal. You hear the side talks. Everybody cannot like you. First of all, you are not Jesus. That's true. And you are not jollof rice. So everybody cannot like you. It's not possible. Even Jesus still had people that didn't.
But not everybody like jollof rice.
So if you expect everybody to like you, that would be the first mistake. So criticism, even in an event, right in an event, you'll be seeing some people's facial gesture and all that. I was at a party recently and I was trying to say a joke and a lady was trying to counter the joke. With experience, what I did, I just gave her the mic. Okay.
There's this aspect I want us to address. Now, it's to our brothers out there in Africa or in Nigeria. Now, for instance, I have the passion to be an MC. Now, if I say I want to come abroad to be an MC, that this is what I'm going to live on. What advice would you give to me if I was in Africa or in Nigeria?
So let's say, for example, you're an MC and you're traveling out, you're coming abroad, and this is what you want to do full time. First of all, I will not even advise you to come to Europe. I will not, because why? Why Europe? Because the Nigerian crowd, the population is very low. So let's take Nigeria for example. In Nigeria, they can have, let's just say in Lagos or in Benin. Do you know how many weddings take place on one weekend? It's thousands, So the MC, the market for entertainers, MCs, photographers, videographers, name it, hype men, it's very large. But it's very difficult. In Belgium, it took a number of years for us to be able to monetize what we are monetizing now. Because there were times people don't pay MC. Oh, Sam, it's a bit of Abeg, come help us, take mic. It was like that. And there were times where people don't pay for makeup services. This lady, she's very good at makeup, come and meet. But this thing took time. So now people are able to enjoy it. But if you are coming from Nigeria to say, I want to be an MC in Europe, my brother, you go hard.
Hello everyone. You're welcome to another episode of The Story Behind the Glory. It is always a beautiful moment when we have the opportunity to listen to people's story, to hear how they started and how they got to where they are today. And today I'm opportune to be with a great man, a man that has pioneered the entertainment industry. I'm talking of no other person than the person of Mr. Lord Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, bro.
Very much for accepting to do this. I really admire your work and I wanted to know more about you. Can you just give us a moment to tell us about yourself? I know you as MC Lord Mayor, so I know say that will not be your real name normally. So
normally, yeah. Sure. Well, okay, so basic or brief intro, I'm Franco Digier. I'm from Edo State, Benin City to be precise, but I was born and brought up in Lagos. Schooled in Lagos University in Ife. I'm a graduate of international relations. Come from a family of 6. So yeah, basically that's me. So that's Frank.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm really happy that you said you're a graduate, because most of us has the mentality that people, when they do MC, they don't go school.
Okay.
So I'm really happy that you're a graduate, and I wanted to know what you studied in school and.
Okay, so like I said, I went to Obafemi Awolowo University.
That big man school.
In Ile-Ife, Osun State. So that's where I did my BSc, in international relations. So, but as it be now. So after you graduate, you're trying to get a job. So I was supposed to I'm looking for a job in embassies, NGOs, multinational corporations. but they were not forthcoming. So instead, I learned foreign languages. I went to school, learned how to speak French, learned how to speak Spanish. So, but yeah, so that was for the school part.
Thank you very much, sir. At what point did you decide to say, okay, I want to be an MC?
Be an MC. Okay, so I think, so what happened, it's something like I listened to Pastor Chris a lot, Pastor Chris Yakilome, and there was one thing he said. I listened to a lot of men of God, obviously, but there was one thing Pastor Chris said. He said, like, if you're in an environment and you want to be successful, try to find something that is lacking in that environment and meet that demand, meet the need. So when I came to Belgium, and I've been living in Belgium for 19 years now, and I was like, okay, I need to do something, like, because I'm a very creative person. When I was in high school, I was the arts president in school from SS1 to SS3, so I've always been creative, drawings, paintings, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, so what can I do? What services can I offer to people here in Belgium? Actually, I love music a lot, so I was like, maybe I should be a DJ. You understand? And then I looked at the DJs. We had quite a number of DJs who are also very good. So I was like, okay. Then I said, okay, I sat down, thought deep, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm charismatic. I have the oratory skills. I used to do MC one kind. Then when I was in the uni. But like what you said, a lot of people think most MCs, they are not graduates, they don't go to school. So when you're in school, you don't really put that on your shoulder, like, this is what I really want to do compared to now. So let me say, when I started doing friends, their wedding in church, so like I had some friends who did their wedding in church, but they couldn't afford an MC or afford a wedding venue. So they were, Mayor, you can talk. Can you just help us? Well, then I was not even mayor anyway. So it was just, Brother Frank, church. Can you just help us to do this? So that's how that's how I started. Then, then it came to the point where you had to, like, monetize it now. Where you can start getting something from it, because they say now we are man, they work night chop. So we got to that stage. And so basically I would say this started far back as 2008, to be precise. 2007, 2008. That's where I said, okay, you know what? I'm doing this. I started helping people. But when the Lord Mayor now came, the brand, so that one is different. That one came a little bit late. Let me say like 2010, 2010-ish. That's where the Lord Mayor now came. And I should also say this quickly, because the name the Lord Mayor also, maybe you're going to ask me that.
That was
So the name the Lord Mayor, so I have, when I was in high school, I have a friend, to date, Babatunde Karimo, that's his name. So there's a video on my Instagram page. I did it for him because he was the one that gave me the name, the Lord Mayor.
Wow.
So I didn't choose the name. It was not my name. So because even when I was going to use the name, so like, what name can I use? I was thinking of different, how should I do this? Because in high school, in uni, they also called me Frank Sinatra.
Oh, wow.
A guy just gave me the name Frank Sinatra. So I also used that name, but I said, no, the Lord Mayor has more force. There's a Lord, there's a Mayor. Lord Mayor. So I said, okay, that's good. So a friend of mine in high school, Babatunde, as I said before, gave me the name. So when it came to that time to do the whole MC stuff, I just said, okay, I think the Lord Mayor,
it's nice.
It's more catchy. It's more strong. When you put it out there, then people really accept it. So that's how it came about.
That's a beautiful concept behind it. And I want to ask this because sometimes when people tend to go into stuffs like this,
yes,
the first thing that comes to mind is, man, no go flop. Man, no go fuck up.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I want to ask, did you ever have a show that you felt like, I mess up? So now, how did you pick yourself up?
Very good question, I would say. A very good question. So the thing about entertainment, generally, if you are a musician, an artist, if you are a dancer or anything, there will always be flops. There will be time where mistakes will be made. But the most important thing is for you to know that you are good at what you do, and to be able to, learn from, your mistakes, put those corrections, and move ahead. The only one I can ever think of that, so because it was a wedding, I think it was a 50th birthday party or so. Normally, I was not supposed to be the MC of that occasion because the person's wife he wanted someone else, but the husband wanted me. So you see, there was already clash of interest. So when the wedding was in Holland, or the party was in Holland, I got there. Then I could see the other MC they wanted to use. That one, they use one eye, they look me from one corner, that kind of stuff. So I was working with one actress. Very popular actress. What's her name now? She lives in Holland. So we were working together, and the vibe was good. But for some reasons, I think the crowd also, they didn't want us. They wanted that guy. You understand? So it does get to the point whereby the celebrant also, no, give us the mic, give it to the other guy and let the other guy do the events. So that was hard. It was very hard. But then I was like, okay, no problem. So we let him do the event.
On that one, I must comment that you're a very strong man, because if not person like me, I go just pray, make God open my head out, because at the end of it, that's a big stuff for me.
I think to an advantage that happened that day, my wife was also there. My wife was there, so she kind of like just came later, met me outside, just hugged me. You don't feel some kind of
I get
so the stress just quick go down. So let me put that in there also.
Sir, I want to know, because criticism is one thing that kills dreams, and a lot of us, when we go into stuff, the first thing we are scared of is, I don't want to be criticized. I would like to know, in this when you started being an MC, have you ever faced criticism that went through your bone and made you feel like?
I would say generally I have never faced any criticism directly that will make me feel like I don't want to do this anymore. So when you're passionate about something, like what I do, I'm passionate about it first of all, and I'm very good in it. I know I'm very good in it. So when I hear some things, side talks, people, it's normal. You hear the side talks. Everybody cannot like you. First of all, you are not Jesus.
That's true.
And you are not jollof rice. So everybody cannot like you. It's not possible. Even Jesus still had people that didn't.
But not everybody like jollof rice.
So if you expect everybody to like you, that will be the first mistake. So criticism, even in an event, right in an event, you'll be seeing some people's facial gesture and all that. I was at a party recently, and I was trying to say a joke, and a lady was trying to counter the joke. With experience, what I did, I just gave her the mic. Okay, you just give us the joke and talk. Okay, talk. You see? And she was like, oh, no. So there are ways to go about things. And even when those criticisms come, you just have to move on, because it's not important. The most important thing is that when you go for an event and you have satisfied 50, 60, 70% there, you are good to go. And it's always good, like you said, talked about, I always demand for feedback. Any event I do, I write to the people, please, I want a feedback. Be honest as possible. And the feedback, so far so good, has been good. I've never had an event whereby I had complaints from the couple or from the celebrant. Never. Guest is possible. But I'm not really there for the guests. I'm there for the celebrants. They are the ones I'm to satisfy. So I'm good at that.
Thank you very much for that. I also want to know, how do you manage to mix being an MC and being a father and a husband at the same time?
Women will naturally laugh us. They say we are not multitasking. Men are not multitasking. We did multitask. So first of all, I think anybody that is going to be into entertainment, you should always have an understanding partner. It's very, very important. If your partner understands what you do and how passionate and the drive you have for what you do, they would adjust. They would adjust, because there are times where I go out in the morning or in the afternoon, I come in like 2, 3, 4 a.m. You understand? And there are some times when I'm even driving home, I'm sleepy. I have to call my wife and we have to talk until I get home. So you see, so it's part of the sacrifice. You understand? I mean, everybody will enjoy the fruits of the labor at the end of the day. So those times will always happen whereby, as a man, you should be able to balance your family life. So let me give you an example. So any weekend I'm free, I will make out time for the kids and for the wife. You understand? So there's always a balance. So it could be like, for example, the whole month of February I'm booked. Okay, I'm busy that whole month. Maybe in the month of March I have 2 weekends free. So those weekends I have to compensate the kids. What do you guys want? You want to go for pizza? You want to go for McDonald's? I take them there. Madam, what do you want? Oh, maybe she wants to eat something. She wants that. I also do that. So you should create that balance so that everybody is happy at the end of the day. Because it will not make much sense if you do something you're so passionate about, but you're leaving other people behind.
That's true. That's true. It's a beautiful way. Another thing I want to know, and I believe that this thing has also been in the mind of many people out there. As an MC in Europe, do you do any other thing outside being an MC?
Of course, in Europe you have to you have to do other things. So because the MC, so as an MC in Europe or like in Nigeria, or maybe I don't know America, I don't know about other places, but let's talk about where we know. In Europe, like I said, first of all, I'm very passionate about what I do. If you want to be an MC or an entertainer in Europe generally because of money, my brother, you will miss it. Because what we get, it will never be enough for you to cater for all your bills. It will never be enough. It will never be enough. So if you are passionate about being an MC, for example, like I'm doing, so whatever I get, I just say, okay, thank God I'm able to put this talent and also get this return. It's fine by me. But I work, I'm like, for example, I'm a logistic manager, you understand? So I work in a logistic firm.
Big man.
It's a big man. It's a big man. They just put manager, not me say, they're just managing the place. So I'm a logistic manager for a Canadian firm.
Wow.
You understand? Nice. So it's a very good job, very relaxing job. So I love my job. So, you know, with the whole idea of logistics, because logistics comes in terms of arranging, putting things in place. So the same way I translate it to what I also do as an MC, because even being an MC, for example, I hype, I promote, I do a lot of stuff within that whole bracket. But what I'm mostly known for is like, okay, he's an MC. But I also do stand-up comedy, because some people never knew until there was a time a basketball came and they saw me and they were like, we never knew you do stand-up comedy. I said, well, this is actually what I do, but this is not something that happens all the time. But we have weddings, we have parties that happens all the time. So that's why I went into the whole MC thing fully, because not every comedian can be an MC, and not all MCs can be a comedian.
I thank you very much, sir. I want you to say something, because at the end of the day, if for instance I have the zeal and the motive to be an MC, and I was leaving,
which you have,
I remember
you have talked about this before, but you ran away.
You gave me one wedding one time, like that. I remember, and that was a great moment, though. Now, this.
Sorry to cut you. I know that wedding, I see the trouble for that wedding today, but that's the story for another day.
Okay, you see why I don't go one day. So there's this aspect I want us to address. Now it's to our brothers out there in Africa or in Nigeria. Now, for instance, I have the passion to be an MC. Now, if I say I want to come abroad to be an MC, that this is what I'm going to live on. What advice would you give to me if I was in Africa or in Nigeria?
So let's say, for example, you're an MC and you're traveling out, you're coming abroad, and you know this is what you want to do full time. First of all, I will not even advise you to come to Europe. I will not, because why? Why Europe? Because the Nigerian crowd, the population is very low. So let's take Nigeria, for example. In Nigeria, they can have, let's just say in Lagos or in Benin, do you know how many weddings take place on one weekend? It's thousands, eh? So the MC, the market for entertainers, MCs, photographers, videographers, name it, hype men, it's very large. But yeah, it's very difficult. In Belgium, it took a number of years for us to be able to monetize what we are monetizing now. Because there were times people don't pay MC. Oh, Sam, you sabi talk, abeg, come help us, take mic. It was like that. And there were times where people don't pay for makeup services. This lady, she's very good. I mean, come and but this thing took time. So now people are able to enjoy it. But if you are coming from Nigeria to say, I want to be an MC in Europe, my brother, it go hard. You really need to find something else to be able to balance yourself. Except you have found grace. You have found the grace I have not found in Europe here. Then you now say, okay, you want to be an MC that you rely on that 100%. You could go to countries like, let's say, the US. I would like to use the US for example. In a state like Houston alone, the amount of Nigerians in Texas, I think there are more than 1 million Nigerians in Texas. So you can imagine the community of Africans there. It's very, very large. So they have events, they have all kinds of events. But in Europe here, our events also are very limited and our population is very small. So in this case, we'll say the sky is not too big for too many birds to fly. When one bird is flying, you occupy all the space. So you wait for that bird to land before you start flying.
Okay,
so
like that. Talking about landing. Do you ever have the intentions to grow people? Like, there was one time, most times I like to address you as the CEO, Lord Mayor Entertainment.
Yes.
That is what I see.
Yes.
Now, I having this opportunity now, I want to know if you have the motives to bring birds that will fly after you land.
Yes.
So I would like to.
So that's very good, and I think that's one of the criteria. I think, in my own opinion, if you are being successful, if I want to call myself a success, I must have people who have also brought up. Okay, like we said, in Europe here, it's challenging. A lot of people think, okay, when I start doing it like this, the money is just coming in, like a money dispenser. It doesn't work like that. I paid a lot of sacrifice, a lot, but I did a lot of free stuff. People did not know this. Like, you just imagine you for like 3 years, 4 years, you are doing a lot of free stuff, or you are going to an event, somebody's giving you 20 euro, 30 euro. Some people think it's an insult, and some people actually thought they were using me. You understand? Okay, but what you didn't know that we are actually giving me a platform. Because when I came there and you gave me 30 euro, somebody else is trying to book me and I'm telling the person 100 or 150. You see? So people are there who will want to, but they are not going through it the right way. So let's use, for example, like the way I am now, as me as I am now, for example, and somebody says, I want to do this. If you come to me, I will be able to put you through. I will be able to say, you know what, come with me, let's go to events. We must go to events together. Then I must see what you can do. Then I'll be comfortable enough to say, well, you know what, I have this event, but I'm traveling, I'm not around. Can you host this event? Because you don't want to introduce somebody to a client and the end of the day you hear that the person did not do well, or they'll start blaming you for one reason or the other. I mean, you have done an event for me before and you did well, but I was just the problem because they actually wanted me to be there, but I didn't come early enough. But the thing is that when you do things like that, I would want to, like you said, I will come to an age or to a time whereby I say, you know what, this MC thing, I want to drop it a little. I want to do other things. Okay, if I've had somebody who is passionate, like I said, passion, you have to be passionate. We don't have people who are passionate about these things. There are those people who want to just like, oh, I just started today, I want to get the money. You understand? So I told somebody recently that helped me for an event. I said, I'm giving you 250 euro and you're just here for like 3 hours. I said, when we started this thing, you might just come and they're just, okay, thanks for coming, and that's it. So you get, so definitely I would love that if I have someone who is passionate about it, first of all, and I can see you really have the drive, you have the skills, because this thing involves a lot of skills. You are charismatic, you have good oratory skills. I'm not going to take you to an event whereby you see there are kids at the event and you are putting out vulgar words. That's not good. So those kind of things. If those people, peradventure, if they come, why not? I would gladly do that. Then I can just sit back and push people. You do this, you do this, you do that. The money doesn't enter like that.
Thank you very much. The thing is, right now, I would like to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to the first person that ever booked you for a show here in Europe.
First person. So see, I always mention two people. Two. Prince Olutu. If you know Prince Olutu, that is a Triple J Entertainment. Triple J Entertainment and BRA Entertainment. Those were the first two people that actually gave me the platform to say, do this. You understand? And I started. And also then Fidi Ice as well. If you know Fidi Ice, a comedian as well. He also gave me a platform. So Olutu and BRA actually gave me the first platform to do this. So that's why anytime, any day I have the opportunity, I always give them that shout out, because without them, I know God is the one who prepares the table for you in the presence of everyone. But they were the ones, God had to put on ground to say, okay, give this guy a chance, and the rest is history now.
That's very beautiful. One thing is, I think another problem that we often face is a lot of people do not have the platform to actually start.
Yes,
you understand.
very
and
true.
when people get the platform, it kind of give them a boost to know that, okay, I don't need to go through all those rigmaroles again. At least I already have something going for me, and it's really beautiful. And in the MC journey, what has been your biggest challenges?
Yeah, biggest challenges. Have there been one? Now I have to think about this one.
God already do one for you.
Biggest challenges. So I would say comparing European MCs or MCs. So I would say the European, because the MCs in North America, like US, Canada, is different with what they earn. Our biggest challenge here is the financial part. Nigerians, we sabi price something like crayfish.
Facts.
Not be you, Sam. So when you give a price, so with our pricing here, it's very difficult. But I've also come to understand that the way we earn in Europe is also different from the way people earn in North America or in Nigeria. People have multiple streams of income in Nigeria. In Europe is just one way. So I've also come to understand that, okay, so that's why for a number of time, an MC of my caliber in Nigeria could be charging as much as like minimum 800,000. That's what they'll charge you for an event. Somebody of my caliber, I swear down, they'll charge you minimum 800 to 1.2 million for an event. But I can't charge somebody that amount if I convert it to euro. I can't charge somebody, give me 800, 1,000. Hey, they will shout, they will scream. Oh, okay. So I think the most challenging thing will be when it comes to pricing of the events, because we have to talk and talk. You have to make the person understand why you are charging the person this amount. So the person now have to think about it. And another thing is a lot of people sometimes so I had to come up some years ago. I had to come up with the issue of like, once you want me for your event, you have to book. You deposit something because sometimes people just call you a week, 2 weeks to the event. Oh, sorry, somebody don't carry another MC for me.
Oh yeah.
And you have cleared out your agenda for that day, made your plans. Maybe you have even made an outfit to wear. You have prepared yourself, prepped up and all that. So those were, I think, so far so good. Those has been the challenge when it comes to the pricing and when it comes to the bookings of this. Those have been the challenges I've faced.
Yeah, thank you very much. And in those challenges, how did you
overcome them? Right.
Yeah.
Well, with the issue of pricing, I speak to my clients. Okay, for example, before I came to this place, or yesterday also, I had a meeting with a client.
Yeah.
So imagine me, we are having your event in December or in March or in May. I'm sitting down with you already. 5-6 months before event, I drive to your place. And we MCs, we package because our appearance is our packaging. People see, they want to see what they are paying for, what they are buying.
Fact.
You look good, you smell good, you drive good, everything. You get there, we get to the event. So, I'll use Belgium for example. We are still lacking in areas of where we call people who are event planners. We don't have that.
Yeah, maybe I'll start now.
We'll bring my guests, because what I do, and I provide extra services for people by planning their events. I plan the event for them, which is normally is not supposed to be my job. But I'm telling you that, Sam, you have to pay me 500 euro, for example. You are saying, Frank, I cannot, Mayor, 500 euro is too much. I say, okay, see, do you have an event planner? No, I'm the one planning your event. I'm selling myself to you. I'm planning your event. I say, see, you don't need a hype man. I hype as well, I will hype your event. Do you know, you don't even need somebody to come crack jokes. I'm very good with jokes. I will crack jokes. So your party, you are having like 4 services from just one person. So I've used that as an advantage to let them know. And at the end of the day, people are always very satisfied with the services I provide. Then with the issue of, like I said, the booking, when I saw people were calling to cancel because somebody had booked an MC, another MC for them, or just because they have found someone who is cheaper and all that, because some people believe it's just to hold the mic and talk. That's what they believe. So when we have such, when I started having such challenge, what I do is that when Sam booked me for an event, I was like, okay, Sam, you have to deposit. So I think you will not want to lose your deposit. Yeah, so you will you stick to the plan.
That's true. It's wonderful. I really enjoyed this talk. Now, lastly, quickly, before we go, I just want you to educate us a little bit. This is something that I've been hearing outside. Is there a difference between a comedian and an MC?
Very big difference. So a comedian, as we always say, we'll say a stand-up comedian. So basically a comedian is telling jokes to the crowd. So a comedian, and most comedy shows basically are always adult events because you have people from 18 and above coming to comedy shows. So you are very free with words and what you say. So a comedian just comes, he cracks jokes, he tells jokes to the people, people laugh, he gets the feedback, and that's what a comedian does. Make people laugh. He's a minister of laughter. An MC, so you can spell an MC as E-M-C-E-E or just MC, the alphabet MC. But the abbreviation, that's the abbreviation. An MC is a master of ceremonies. So now, at an event, an MC is the most important person in any event.
Yes, sir.
After the celebrant is the MC. The MC can tell the celebrant, stand up, sit down, go outside, come inside, eat, don't eat. So you see how important an MC is. So that's what differentiates a comedian from an MC. And like I told you before, not all comedians are MCs, because you get to a wedding, for example, and there are children at that wedding. There are some jokes you can't make. There are some words you can't say. But some comedians who don't know how to be MCs, they go ahead to say those things, thereby causing problem. So simply put, comedians, they'll tell jokes. MCs, they organize events.
Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
That has been a beautiful time with MC Lord Mayor. And with this segment, I have learned a lot, a whole lot. And I don't know about you, because I have discovered some things today. An MC is different from a comedian. And trust me, this is the story behind the glory. And we'll hope that his story has been able to motivate and teach one or two persons out there. And trust me, on every episode of The Story Behind the Glory, it's great minds and great people. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.